Hello, everyone. So sorry. I have some serious audio issues. So hopefully the echo is not too bad right now. Please come back. Come back right here, live streaming. I'm going to give a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and remove this mic since it's not working. That's what happened when you're trying to be too prepared, and in the end, nothing happened. Okay, let me just. Oh, hello, Renee. How are you? Yes, one person came back to me. You know, guys, I try very hard to give you all great audio, but the matter of the truth is that my living situation have been moving so much recently with Airbnb, and I'm trying to constantly um, look for the right audio for the right space and the right setup. This is actually a brand new mic with an amplifier that's not working. You know, last night I spent 2 hours. I want to make sure to mix my sound and my audio signal. Everything was so perfect for you guys. It was perfect, and boom, it went mute. Okay. This is the sound right off of my iMac. So see, this is what happened when you guys are interviewing. Make sure the audio is working. I was actually on here. It worked. Okay, forget it. I'm not touching anything. iMac it is, okay? All right, iMac it is. Well, if you are watching for the first time, hello everybody. My name is Holly Lee. I am a career coach. I talk a lot about how to help you land job offer with the main employers, which primarily, when I say main, what I really meant is Amazon, because a lot of you guys are interviewing for AWS or Amazon and you have a lot of questions for me. I am here to answer them all. But if you haven't checked that out yet, I have just released an article partnering with Ford, the Coaches Council, and I'm really excited um, to share my thoughts on how long your interview answer will be. Now, it's not just for Amazon, it's for any employer. But if Amazon is your premier employer of choice, you really have to glance through the article. I talk about the attention spam. I bet you guys anything, as you're listening to me, you're doing 10 other things, right? Who says yes? Give me a show of hand. That's our attention spam, okay? So I want you guys to read it through, know what the expectation of the type of communication skills that Amazon is looking for, and how you should be prepared. I know that a lot of people are like this to me that says, Holly, I don't know, it's impossible. I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast. How am I supposed to remember 20 different stories and, all of this? Well, that's a good question. You know why though, right? Because a lot of I don't want to say this because I'm going to get a lot of hate by saying this. I know a lot of coaches, recruiters, hiring managers, everyone's perspective is very different. Do note that I'm sharing this information with you with data to back me up. Okay? Since 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, I've been coaching all of you guys the wrong way, which is I need to see 2 to 3 different leadership principles, creating your stories around it. Your answer will go to 2 to 3 minutes because that's what I've taught. That's what I trained as an interview trainer at Amazon. And then when the pandemic hit, I realized, my God, even my own clients don't even have the attention span. Why? Because their children are pulling them in the background. I know that they are literally paying me for a coaching session and having a meeting right next to them. Okay, so with a lot of the factor in mind, I came up with the 60-second, not the entire interview, guys, Wi-Fi pause. So if you have any questions regarding loop interview, please shoot that to me. Today's topic is salary negotiation because I'm getting a lot of that and I want to answer as many of those questions as possible. By the way, Alusov, really nice profile pictures. Very, very nice. Love the background. What kind of questions do you have for me? And if you're new to my channel, please say new and let me know where you are coming in from. Hungry, my old friend. Thanks for your material. It was very helpful. Hungry for employment. How are you? Hungry is what is, I talk like she's still around, are one of my very first batch of YouTube community when I started live streaming 3 years ago when I spoke to the wall and pretended like I had people listening. I don't have anybody. She was one of the earlier on. I appreciate you coming back. How are you? How's it going? I think you've been at your job for what, at least a year, if not more. Let me know how things are going. Hello, hello. And by the way, if you're truly new, don't hold back. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. If you do, when my audio is intact, I always live stream every Tuesday afternoon, okay? And the article I was telling you about, stay connected with me on LinkedIn. A lot of you, when you reach out to me, please do put some kind of effort for a LinkedIn profile because it's hard for anyone to get to know you or respond to your questions when they don't know anything about your background. At least for me, I want to learn something about your background. Okay? All right. Hello, Hybe Code. Hybe Code, how are you? Farzana, how are you? Terry, hello, Terry, how are you? Well, at least I got the camera working. Camera, however, I have a lot of backup, but audio, guys, audio is the hardest thing to please, especially when you're live streaming, because when things go wrong, you just have zero control. Terry, let me know if you have other questions for me. I believe I reviewed your resume 2 weeks ago. Let me know if you have any follow-up question on that, okay? Teeny, how are you, Teeny? Teeny says, thank you very much for the tips. Great help. Well, did you get a job offer? What is going on, Teeny? Share that with us, please. Okay? Jordan, hello, Jordan. Natasha says, I have a loop coming next week. Fingers crossed for you, by the way. I heard it was okay to bring a work journal with my notes, and I say I would like to get my thoughts together, write down question. Is that not the case? You could always have some kind of journal. Actually, I encourage you, when you go into an interview, have a notebook, notepad, or something, but to write questions down, okay? For instance, you should always have your pre-made questions to ask the interviewer. Wink, wink, right? By the way, if you are my community member, by hitting the join button in any of my video, any tier, I have a template for you, and among other templates as well in the community tab, okay? You could write questions to ask the interviewer, but put yourself in the interviewer's perspective. They do not want to be interviewing you, looking down at your notebook and seeing you doing this, and every single page is full, right? That's a clear indication that you cannot memorize I just hate the word memorize, that you don't know what you have done enough to remember them, okay? I know that I'm going to get hate by a lot of different coaches out there, but this is from personal experience, guys. I shadow everything. I mean, I work for 3 different org within Amazon, and my org knows that I've literally shadowed 60 different hiring managers. True story. On top of their engineers, level 5, level 6, level 7, level 8, you name it. Because every time when I support a stakeholder in filling their we call them requisition or open roles, I want to be the one to shadow, because I want to learn what type of question they ask you, my candidates, the job seekers, right? So for that matter, I see so many, like the number one common thing when they're taking notes about you, they're not exactly taking notes about you. They're drawing stick figures, yeah, because they're bored. I know that there are times where, as soon as the interview is done with you, some of the feedback would be, sometime I just wanted to let it go to see how long the candidate would last. And the longest time is 15 minutes per question. 10 minutes, very common. Easily 10 minutes, that's where you fail, okay? Because it's very hard to stay engaged with the interviewer and stay relevant. You need to cut them very, very crispy, okay? You can get a job if you could sustain someone's interest and remember everything you've done more than a minute, but that's really hard. I can't coach you guys every single thing, because I literally have to review and teach you how to create story in my formula. For now, it's called the STAR method and the 60-second rule, because I haven't been able to figure out a better way yet, but it works like magic, okay? Data does not lie. Data do not lie, okay? Because the last couple of weeks in a row, there's been an average of about 9 to 10 people who comes in here announcing job offer, because they are using my strategy and it's working for them. And all of them are resulting in Amazon offer and multiple offer, okay? So if you're coming to me, if you're trying something, you're really struggling that doesn't work out, I want you to tell me first and foremost, what have you already done right here in the live chat that hasn't worked out? So I know where to come in and help you. That way we're not wasting time, okay? You can bring a journal, but if you bring a journal, you try to cheat and look for your answer, the interviewer can see that, okay? If you keep on looking down like this, and turn your head, it's obvious, right? Um, I'm not saying this is just an Amazon thing where you have to think fast. This is just any employer. Even for me right now, I'm hiring people for my team. And if I'm asking you simple questions and you have to hold on every 10 second to 30 second where you have to look at your notes, I'll just move on because I am hiring someone just like the employer perspective so that you come to me somewhat ready, right? With minimal instructions so you know what the expectations are. Employers are not going to spend their time holding your hands. Amazon or FANG employers just don't have that time. Okay? So hopefully that shed a lot of light because the answer of how long your answer should be, I'm on team blind as well. Okay? I know that I'm not a fan of a lot of people who only taught a certain way. If you have ever worked at Amazon up until I want to say like the most recent year or so, I know because I've been taught 2 to 3 minutes. There's 10 minutes. There's a lot of 7 to 10 minutes. That's really, really long. I start dozing off after 30 seconds when things don't make sense to me. So 1 minute, guys, it's like ping pong conversation. You give me an answer in 60 seconds or less. Hold on, let me ask probing question. Let's go back and forth. You see where I'm going? So by the time that the interviewer goes in with 3 questions to ask you, you were going back and forth. I'm not talking about 60 seconds for the entire interview. I'm talking about ping pong, okay? Just remember that. It's at least a 60-40 rule, not 70-30 anymore because no one has got the attention span for that. So if you really think deep about that, you want to kind of set them up when you already know what kind of question they're asking you, right? Okay? So when they're coming back with at least 3 to 5 probing questions, that interviewed, it's easily about 5 to 10 minutes per each question. Okay? And that's also, don't forget, guys, it's also a time for you to ask questions for the interviewer. So 45 minutes can go through so fast. Trust me on this. When I trained making great hiring decision, that class was 4 hours and a half. Actually, I was told by my trainer the class was 5 hours, 5 hours and a half long. I'm like, no way. There's no way people would pay attention to me for that long. I had to condense the coaching material. The book is like this thick. Okay, they're still running Making Great Hiring Decision at Amazon. I had to be so creative and trimming it down to 3 to 4 hours. I pretty much cut the entire hour out and only talk about things that's relevant to coach Amazonian to be great interviewers. So I'm teaching you guys the same thing where there is a formula to outline your story where you don't have to mention word by word. Okay, Natasha? VJ, how are you, VJ? If you guys are new, if you are enjoying this live and free session, please do smash that thumbs up button emoji because YouTube really love the algorithm. Alrighty. VJ, what do you have for me? Hope you're doing good. Thanks for guiding the career improvement. Of course, VJ. If you have questions for me, I'm always here same time, same day, every single week. Unless I'm falling sick and lost my voice because last year was a really bad year for me where I had my wisdom tooth. I still turn on my camera. Luckily, that was before our little family moved from Seattle to Arizona. And you can tell my mouth was literally crooked. I'm not even trying to hide that because I am a true believer that you don't try to be perfect. You try to show up prepared the best that you can because your listener wanted to hear your thoughts and your knowledge. You are a subject matter expert for the topic that they're here to listen to, just like the interviewer, okay? So don't try too hard to be perfect. You just try to be prepared the best that you can. Because at the end of the day, professionals, you want them to hire you for who you are. You want to be unique. You don't want to change who you are. All right? Jordan. Hello, Jordan. Your videos help me prepare for my loop interview. All right. Jordan, I would love for you to come back and let me know that you've landed a job offer. I'm waiting for that to come. Mark, hello, Mark. I know, I know. I love live streaming. I'm actually thinking about working on something different for 2023. Um, you guys are gonna laugh if I show you what I bought, but for some reason, I'm not sure why my firmware is not updated on the new device. I'm hiring for a live streaming person locally to come over and help me if you have any referral. Not joking. Farzan, new for live session from Bangladesh. Well, hello, Farzana. How are you? If you have questions, please do drop them, okay? Alosa from Brazil. Hello, thank you for being here internationally. My first coding interview is next week. Are you a software engineer, Alusoft? I'm assuming you're a software engineer. Be very specific, okay? Let me know what position you're interviewing for. Because if you do that, I can give you more tips and strategies on the type of coding problem or challenge problem. Okay? Venice says, one of my friend refer your channel. Oh, thank you, friend, for referring my channel to your friend. Ooh, hungry for employment. Things are going great. New opportunities coming in. Of course, because you're amazing. I've seen your resume. I've heard you speak. I know you are amazing. Anyone is lucky to hire you hungry for employment. Ebot. Hello, Ebot. Hey, Holland from South Africa. Started watching your content. What kind of questions do you have for me, Ebot, with your Loop interviewed? By the way, I have a video that's called Loop Interviewed or On-Site Interviewed. I have a couple of them. A lot of you guys are asking me what leadership principles should I study, what video should I watch. To be very frank, the ones who landed a job offer as my member, just like all of you guys, they watch literally every single one of my video because all of them kind of collide like a collage, one another, okay? You cannot learn how to create your story without fixing your branding because your branding helps create the right achievement and ROI, knowing what your business impact is in order to turn them into your story, okay? That's why you can't just watch one without the other. I know many of you, we talk about attention spam a lot here, okay? Because a second ago, before I got cut off, I was talking about my Forbes article that just got released today. So go check it out. It is on my LinkedIn post. And let me know if you have any questions about that. I talk about being very, very concise, okay? Being very concise and being patient. You've got to have the patience to interview prepped. If you don't, the interviewer will not be able to listen for a whole 45 minutes or 4 hours because that is a very long time if you're unprepared, okay? And feel free to drop your comment in the specific video as you're watching them. JMM, how are you? JMM, that is very international today. I love it. JMM from Switzerland. Oh, how I wish I was in Switzerland right now. I reached out to you through LinkedIn. Okay. We are a little behind, we meaning my team and I, but we will get back to you guys as quickly as we can. Okay. That's why, so many people are going through like content making about hiring freezes and all of that. This is, to be honest with you all, this is like one of the busiest time for me. Just in, what month are we? September? Just in July, I want to say all in all 35 job offers at Amazon. I want to say I have about 5 or 6 from Microsoft. You guys add up the math, okay? So it's been really busy starting August. I think, I don't know, maybe the hiring managers or employee need like a summer break or something. June, July, I wouldn't say it's slow, it's steady, but I see the peak starting again as of August and now September, okay? When there's a lot of holidays coming up, there's a lot of sales coming up, you have to target and focus on companies that have deals, which means they'll be hiring for your skill set, okay? Amazon is not sponsoring me. I know some of you are thinking about it. Some of you actually blog about me on Team Blind. They are not sponsoring me. I'm doing this because I really love coaching and just wanted to share all the data from all of you guys who's reaching out to me. Okay? Autumn. Hello, Autumn. How are you? Jenny, I found your videos last week. Awesome. Welcome, Jenny. I have an Amazon interview in a couple weeks. Do you have a video on good questions to ask during the interview? All you have to do is I believe it is tell me about yourself video. I made so many video, 120, 188 to be exact. If you go into first click join in the live chat at any tier, starting at $3.99. When you do that, you have full access to my community tab in the main YouTube. And you click on the community tab, there's a template that says questions to ask the interviewer, which includes the hiring manager, peer-to-peer, bar racer, and cross-functional team. Okay? That's just an example. You use those example and kind of tweak it into your industry. All right? All right. Hello, Karen. Karen says, I have my loop interview for HR specialty. I have watched most of your video and so far I have 17 story. Any extra tip? Thank you so much for all your videos. Yes, I have a lot of tips for you, Karen. If you feel that you're running out of 17 different story, you can't get up to like the 20 story, I would encourage you to push a little harder. I would encourage you to look at every single one of your examples and see if you could split it into half, okay? Oftentimes, professionals, I know this because I run a VIP coaching cohort, you want to share too much information where a lot of the data you share could be split and diced into 2 or 3 even different stories, okay? Walla Whoops. Hello, Walla Whoops. Hello, Holly. Awesome content. First time on your live. I'm from Mexico. There's a lot of Mexico friend in the house. Digital, oh, can't talk, guys. Digital, my goodness. Marketer for a big CPG company and have a questions about my Amazon process. Already passed the loop. Congratulations! Yes, congratulations, friends, for passing the loop. What questions do you have? Jordan, this is a good question. Jordan says, I have a quick questions client lead. Reach out to me regarding results of the interview for employment. Is this a good sign? If I did not get the job, would they have said so? Regarding result of the interview for employment, well, generally, it depends. I like to call every single one of my candidate when I was recruiting because the way I see it is that you take the time to prep for the interview and your time to spend at the time, driving to the office a full loop. The least I could do is pick up the phone and spend 5 and 10 minutes to you because you don't want to make a candidate as a recruiter's perspective, at least for me, I don't want you to feel like you didn't make it through the loop and feel bad about it. I would, okay? So I know that a lot of the more senior principal recruiter level would do that. It really depends, okay? But don't think of it negatively yet. Smile and just be prepared for the call. All right? Real Low Clothes. Real Low, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. What the hiring manager and I didn't get the job, HR told me that she really liked my profile and she arranged another meeting with another hiring manager in 2 weeks. She's waiting for new positions to open. Any tip? That's actually a really good thing. Well, first of all, congratulations. Congratulations. It sounds like this hiring manager really likes you, Willa. Can I call you Willa? I can call you Wolf if you like. It is also very common if a rec is full. I mean, I'm trying to put my hiring manager hat on if I really like a candidate and I don't have the head count for a number of reasons, right? If you go watch my my offer pause offer, one or the other video, I can't remember the title, it was just last week. If you watch it, I went into very detail. For example, they may be forced to give their open head count to their peer. It happens to me all the time at Amazon as a hiring manager. That's why I'm sharing with you guys everything that had happened to me before, okay? Raw, real data. It could also be because they're waiting on final headcount. The rec needs to be on hold until they see a full budget approval of the remainder of the year or first quarter of 2023, what that looks like. It could also be, I'm just summarizing it. Some of this is not even in that video. It could also be because they are trying to see if they can move an internal team member or cross-functional team to this role, okay? It could be a number of different things, but note that Amazon will not interview talent even if they don't have headcount, if they don't believe. See, my English as a second language is like slurring out, slurping, you could do it, Holly, slurping out, okay? They believe in you. They believe that you have the potential to get the role. That's why they're here. If I were you, here's a couple of things I would do, Rilla, okay? I would absolutely follow up with the recruiter, with the hiring managers. Keep tab on them. I will follow up with them every single week. Put on your seatbelt and hang in tight, okay? It is very, very hard to make it through where you are, okay? And if you, I mean, just because you're an HR manager, there's an HR manager for so many, I mean, Amazon is just so broad, meaning that it really depending on the industry that you come from, and I bet you anything, Amazon has a home for you, okay? If I am your recruiter, I would work hard to find you a home, knowing that the feedback overall is fairly positive, especially if the hiring manager says they want to arrange another call with you in another 2 weeks. Okay, I would do that. Thank you so much, Willa, for the generous super chat. Kevin, I will be right with you, Kevin. I love question. Did I mention how much I love question? Yes. I'm still in denial that my microphone is not working. I just tried it. It's still not working. I've given up now. All right. Poonam says currently working with Amazon on contract and trying to convert. Fingers crossed to you. I was a contractor in most of my entire career by choice, and I loved it because there's nothing wrong with being a contractor, by the way. It's just that, I mean, for me, it's good to kind of test it out to see if you wanted to be with an employer long term. Okay. Also, contractor generally makes more than full time. Wink, wink. Okay. But when the time comes, you are being evaluated with everything that you've done, not just your experiences at Amazon. But it is wise if you are a consultant at Amazon to start carving out at least several of your achievement there during your time, because you are going to be evaluated just like a brand new candidate, but the bar for consultant is actually a little bit higher because you're already there. Okay. Catherine, hello, I'm new and just joined VIP. Yes, Catherine. Yes, you just joined a VIP cohort. Catherine, I saw your resume in the VIP platform and I will get back to you later on today. Let me know if you have other questions, okay? Thank you for coming by. I love my VIP member who stopped by to support me. Teeny small. I got the first interview for AWS data center security manager with one of the data center security manager. It is commute to not have the first phone screen with the recruiter. Oh, you mean, is it common? Yes, it's very, very common. That means you're good. That means your resume is very strong and the hiring manager is interested to move things forward quickly. This Friday, I got the, okay, and please do not spam, okay? Notice, guys, you're able to drop a comment and don't have to be a paid YouTube community member, which is $3.99. It's up to you. I'm doing it because I want everyone to be able to join, because I don't have access to your membership. It makes me uncomfortable should you need to cancel. Very few of you guys reach out to me, and I just don't like to not provide any customer support. I can't, so that's why I'm making this all free, but please do not spam the community, okay? JMM, but if we get done with one story in 60 seconds, then we need 60 stories to fill the interview. Excellent questions. Go check out my article on LinkedIn that I literally just posted half an hour ago, okay? And I talked about this if you want to scroll up. Actually, I talk about this in almost every single one of my video in the questions and example playlist, as well as a star method playlist. Okay, I would encourage and challenge you, JMM, seek to understand first. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, and I talk about this every week, professional for you guys. 60-second is actually not a lot of time for you to express. You need to hurry up and get there. After you do that, there's a lot of probing questions. I think you guys misunderstood the 60-second rule. Probing question is anywhere between 3 to 6. So the more engaged, short, brief, to the point, the more engaging you're able to bounce back and forth. Amazon love to have, I don't want to say the word intellectual and strategic conversation to the point, specifically with data and number. They're not interested to hear about a bunch of words. I'm saying that take it with a grain of salt for someone who's written a lot of white paper at Amazon, who's been told that it's too wordy, which is not very long, by the way, who's told that I need to trim it down to one page and they only care to see how I get to the result and what was I solving for and what was my plan to bridge the gap. Okay? If you have more questions about that, I would love it if you watch the video and let me know what session, because it's hard for me to, I feel like I can spend 10 hours to talk about the 60-second. Okay? Natasha, you're welcome, Natasha. Marlon, I'm having my last 5 interview next Tuesday. AWS TAM role. You have helped me a lot. Well, I'm glad to be a little part of your career transition, Marlon. You're watching me from Jeff's material as well. I can't remember if I've done any material for my friend Jeff, the Google guy. I smashed your like button. I'm in the team match of Google and waiting for pause to lift. Keep on doing that, okay? Anytime when you hear pause from like the Fane or the main company, it's not very long, okay? I can tell you guys that especially towards the end of the year is when a lot of the budget gets approval for the following year, okay, which is January 2023. For the most part, a lot of the companies should have budget approval by beginning of December at the latest, because they need to know how to structure their org, right? We're talking about hiring leaders here. So it's very common to have teams to get together about November-ish or so, right before the holidays, when things are a little bit more light. I'm only talking about Google at the moment, okay? Amazon is always a fire hole somewhere. Jason? Sorry. My real estate agent just called me. Sorry, guys. That's very inappropriate. When you're in a meeting or video call, you turn off that phone, okay? So make sure you do that. Make sure you stay on top of your recruiter. If you have contact information of hiring managers or folks that you have interviewed with, this is a good time, everyone. This is a good time because the holidays are all coming up. Send them a message, wishing them a happy Thanksgiving, wishing them well, staying healthy and safe. Or if you're in Arizona like me, Texas or California, staying cool in the heat. There's a lot of ways to reach out and re-engage to network if you're interviewing for a position and it is pause, okay? There's so many ways to go around it. Edgar says, a bit of advice. I have extensive pre-sale experience that can be transferred, but not so much in AWS. Why would you say that? Not in AWS. What should be my type of job? What can I apply for? Last interview were no go. Well, it depends. I would have to disagree with you, Edgar, because every single one of my account manager, business development manager, sales manager, account executive, sounds familiar? None of them have cloud experiences, technology experiences, and they're all account executive or all of the above that I just mentioned at AWS right now, okay? All you need to do is, one, if your passion is to work for AWS, I have to say this, you need to take the AWS certification or the practitioner, okay? That is the number one advice I've given every one of my program manager and sales folks, let's call them sales folks, in the VIP coaching. All of them have failed interview 1 to 2 to 3 times, but from the moment they get that certification and they get the right training from my community or from me, and the moment they reconstructed their stories and learning how to deliver the answer, it's showing a company like Amazon that you really want the job, and you're really going above and beyond by taking the certification. You're not even a tech person, but you need to know the tech foundation or enough knowledge in order to be hired, okay? It doesn't matter if you're non-tech. I talk about PM, I talk about sales role. You need to know you don't need experience, but you need to know, for example, tell me about the AWS infrastructure. Okay? Amelia, hello Amelia. You received your Amazon job offer. Oh, today, yay! Woo! Yes, yes. Congratulations, Amelia. Very happy for your day one. SDE3. Okay, I'm preparing using lead code for SDE3 coding interview. Do you have any other recommendation resources? The technical part. For the technical part, there's a lot of free material online, a lot from system design. You have to know how to design. You're going to have at least one, if not two, interviewer focusing on design. So if you are a software engineer, it is 50-50 or 60-40, okay? Meaning at least 50% of the interview questions are technical. Problem solving, coding with data structure, algorithm, depends on their mood. Sometimes binary tree mapping if you're interviewing at Google, system design and architecture, object-oriented design, object-oriented analysis. You have to know all of that stuff. You have to know how to break the system apart to reconstruct everything from ground up, okay? Because I built the software engineering team for the last 20 plus years, and you need to know how to design very, very well. There's Amazonians, okay? Amazonian teaching you how to solve technical problem on YouTube. So I would check those out as well. I personally cannot recommend to take a course. I would think that you should have some practice material, but take it as a grain of salt. I would first look for free material. I feel like if you are an engineer, you've already built products and have experience, you should be able to pass. Just refresh a lot of those memory with the free content that's already on YouTube from those tech content creator. That's just for me. If you have to take a course to learn how to code, then that would be too late. As an SD3, they should not be giving you any hint. They're expecting to solve a problem with no bugs, 0 bugs. That means you should probably QA and test your answer, right? All right, Michael, you failed loop for senior TPM with Prime Video. The recruiter couldn't give feedback, but said I should look at other openings. If I see a role, can I ask the recruiter to send my resume? Well, the recruiter generally is not going to do that. Note that everything is in the feedback. So if you fail your position, it sounded like you were probably bottom line. I can't talk. Sorry, guys. Borderline. What am I saying? Borderline enough where if you're giving a second chance, you could possibly pass. But if I'm the recruiter, if you're lacking, you mentioned senior TPM. If you're lacking the system design side of things, usually for TPM that failed the interview, it's on the technical part. I would give you, I don't know. I do things very different from everyone else. If it's a candidate that I know that worked really hard, that I have carried from beginning recruiter screen to phone screen to on-site, I would at least pick up the phone and say, I wouldn't give you all the feedback. I would basically just said, we would love for you to re-interview again, but I would polish up on your system design, period. Make it very quick, brief. That's just me. That's how. Because if not, it would be a waste of your time. You keep on applying and you keep on failing, apply, fail in the same thing. After you've done it 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, you don't want to be blacklisted at Amazon, okay? Go check out my Amazon fail job interview playlist and I'll tell you exactly where you have failed, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of that, Michael. eBot. There's a lot of software engineer today. What is going on? eBot says, I am interviewing for SD3. I've watched most of all of your playlists. Could you explain the newest Amazon LP and whether I need to prep for them? Um, well, that's an excellent question. If you are a people manager or leadership, you'll be managing people, you have to know the last two LP because one is success and oh my God, I can't remember them because they're new. I don't look at the LP every single day. One is focusing on building community as a leader and also building community as an IC. Okay. The other one is basically being a team player. The other one is being a people manager, making sure that you're helping your team be successful. Okay. Be successful as a people leader. How do you set your people up to be where they should, where their career trajectory is? I actually made a video on that, and it's called Amazon Leadership Principle Questions and Examples. It is the very last video. It is a template of answer my personal experience that would hit the mark for example number 15 and 16. Okay, go check that out. Alrighty, Suvik, it's been a long time. Just popping in to say thank you once again for all your help. You really helped me land the software test job at Apple. Yay! Heart. I'm so happy for you. I love your background. Is that an Apple background right there with the hawk? Awesome. Very happy for you, Suvik. Sounds like Apple is treating you well. Jaros says, how different is having two hiring managers in your virtual on-site? That's very common. You should have two hiring managers because the other hiring manager could be the bar racer or your cross-functional team, okay? And sometimes they have open roles that are very similar role but different projects in the same org. Therefore, they have one open rec and two hiring managers is interviewing you. It's totally normal. Let them fight for you, Jarash, okay? Costa Rica in the house. How are you, Costa Rica? Villa, thank you so much for the super chat. You said I 5 weeks ago I completed my Amazon loop process for an L5. Let me. I'm getting old. I can't see it. The good thing is, guys, I have my iMac back. I'm no longer on a 13-inch MacBook Pro. That was very, very hard struggle for me. Okay, I completed my Amazon loop process for an L5. L5 is an account executive, and my HR contact shared with me that I did great, but the Amazon team saw me a better fit for an L4. Last week, I had another interview. This is a very confusing and contradicting feedback. If I were you, usually when the HR recruiter give you feedback, if they're saying that you did well, if I were you, I would seek to understand more. I would simply ask your recruiter, can you please provide me with some more feedback so I know what the expectation is and areas of improvement I should prep for this, and can you point me out on what part of my answer dictates down level, okay? Here's the thing, so many people just want to work for Amazon that they would just, accept a lower level. This is also very common. Amazon is a very fair company, but it's okay to ask the right questions, okay? If you don't, you re-interview for level 4, but what if your areas of improvement or the gap to meet the L5 or even L6 bar, you could have even landed an L6 offer, but no one gave you that feedback. Instead, they keep on routing you to lower level all the way down, and then you end up getting a level 4 offer and not know where you could have done better, okay? I'm just trying to save you time because I wouldn't say it's hard to get promoted at Amazon, but it's very hard to get a level 6 offer or a level 6 promotion at Amazon, okay? If you have any more questions, Walla, feel free to drop it off and just reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, okay? Wow, Joe Rose from the Philippines in the house. Hello, hello. All right, Terry. I've updated my resume and LinkedIn. I'm working on my stories now. My playlist on YouTube helped me like awesome. That's what I like to hear. I mean, by now it's very close to 7,000 people who were able to land a job, and I know you're the next person. You're welcome, Vala Wolf. You're welcome, Jordan. Rod, Rod, Rodding, Rodding. Congrats. I love all your nicknames. By the way, I've been approached by AWS Recruiter. Obviously, I should wait until I'm ready. Yes, Terry, please wait until you are ready, okay? Kevin says, I moved to Germany from Asia and doing a boot camp. I study computer engineering back home, but but did not finish last 2 months. Do you have any tips on how to network? End goal is to get a job. So you are going for your computer science. What degree are we talking about? Is this your bachelor, your BSc, or is this your master? What are you going for? You don't need to have to complete a degree to apply for a job. There is this misconception that Amazon, just in case, there is a perception that you need to have a college degree to be considered for a role at Amazon. That's not true. I know level 7 bar racer who's a senior software development manager with no college degree. I know a lot of folks level 6s with no college degree, and they're all permanent employees. Okay, so before you apply to a job, you need to look at your own credential on fit. Okay, don't worry about level. Look at more of what you can bring on the table. Fix that resume so you can gain interest. Okay. Doryoti, I am 7th SEM doing BTech mechanic. Could you tell me how to prepare operation manager role and the skills I will need for it? By the way, operation manager or operation program manager is 50% of the success in here as a YouTube community, as well as the VIP coaching, which by the way is this. I am the founder and CEO of my own VIP coaching. It's for tech and non-tech, 50 and 50%. But for some odd reason, all of you guys have selected me as an Amazon coach. And the cohort actually made fun of me that I'm pretty famous for those who have failed their job interview. But I want you to come to me before you fail your job interview. So why is the case? Is because when you're not ready, don't go forward with it, okay? Either you're an operation program manager, account executive, a software engineer, you need to watch my entire channel, because all these people, all these close to 7,000 folks who landed multiple offers for free, they never once complained it was too much, too long, and all that. They did it. A lot of people, I actually had a couple video endorsement right here on my YouTube channel. And they talked about having multiple children, even staying up until 3 a.m. just to pumped up their stories, making sure they have 20 different ones. So the question I need to ask you all is, how determined and dedicated are you in landing an offer at Amazon? Because the bar is very high, okay? Ocon, I have a phone interview on Thursday. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm preparing, watching your videos. Do you have any recommendation? Which is all the video, my friend. Every single one of them. Vala Wolf, thank you so much for everything. Super chats, and you just became a member. Awesome. Oscar, any tip for security consultant phone interviewed? If you guys are interviewing for the phone screen with the hiring managers or with your future peers, the phone interview is really a time for the other person on the other line to evaluate if you're fit for at least 70% of the time, okay? I made a video that is called the phone interview at Amazon. Go check that video out. Yes, JMM, 60 seconds per answer, not for the entire interview. Jurek, hello Jurek. Jurek, how are you? I completed my second phone interview last Thursday for an L6 marketing manager role, but interviews are with members from the team. That's awesome. That is amazing. You welcome, Kevin. You welcome, Acker. Jennifer, Hello, how are you, Jennifer? Jennifer, I love that profile picture emoji of you on YouTube. Look at that smile. I hope you're doing well. Viola Wolf says, considering that I passed the bar and I'm waiting for a new position to open, is it okay if I still search for new opportunities? I'm from Mexico. Um, no, no. Well, let me just pause for 1 second before I say no, okay? If you pass the hiring bar and you are waiting for if you pass the hiring bar and you're waiting for new positions to open, before you apply to another rec or anything like that, first, I would leverage the people that you already know, which is your recruiter and your hiring managers, people in your interview loop, right? I will personally reach out to every single one of those all, and I would tell them that I love my time with them interviewing me and ask them to refer you, okay? I would ask for referral because you already made it through the loop. Why would you want to start all over again? Do it while your feedback is still fresh, because at Amazon specifically, if you interviewed all the way through, you don't have to re-interview in 6 months, okay? So network to death until they find you a place. They're looking for another opportunities anyway. Why are you working so hard? Make your network work for you. Miguel, that's funny. Miguel says, Amazon always firing people. Well, I don't know how to answer this question. This goes for any employers, right? For underperformer, I can tell you that at Amazon, it's kind of hard to be fired. It's really, really hard because Amazon has a process you have to go through, which is why in the VIP coaching cohort, I have a template of my top 27 questions. And one of the question is, how do you manage low performers? And everybody have given me the wrong answer. At Amazon, and just through years of experience being a people manager for 5 out of the 7 years I was there, I really taught myself how to write well. You have to have a game plan. You have to be responsible for your staff or your direct report who's underperformed. What exactly is your strategic strategy? Okay, it's very hard to get fired at Amazon because at the end of the day, it is your hiring manager. Did that person do everything they could to help you? Were you and your manager on the same page before they let you go? So if anyone were to say it's easy to get fired at Amazon, I'm not really seeing it because there's a lot more. I can make it out of a different video. This is out of context here. But the bottom line at a high level is that it takes a lot. You would have to stop working for 3 months straight after coaching and you basically drop every single ball. Okay? That's impossible, right? Even so, your manager have to document everything to help you come up to speed and then evaluate, did we make a wrong decision to hire this person that is obviously not a fit? Is impossible because the Amazon's bar to get through the door is very high. Okay? You're welcome, Alosaf. Rex. Hello, Rex. Well, thank you for loving my channel. We connected on LinkedIn. I worked at Microsoft. Yes, hello. Thank you for being here. Congratulations on your Microsoft offer, by the way. Andrea, greeting from UAE. I have my loop for Global Cloud Architect about 3 hours, feeling super nervous. Why you nervous? Why are you nervous? Girl, tell me why you're nervous. By the way, it's okay to be nervous because it really shows that you want the job. It shows that you're really trying to prep the best that you could. Sometimes you can only go so far, right? So please keep me posted. Reach out to me via LinkedIn and let me know how that goes. NW, waiting on your feedback. Thanks for all your help. Fingers crossed. You're welcome, NW. Huh, that's interesting, Andrea. My recruiter focused a lot on LP, but not much on the technical session. It's a bit late to worry about this now. You have the advice. Should I focus on? Couldn't find anything. What role is this, Andrea? My apologies. Did you already tell me? And okay, you did not tell me. Oh, you did tell me. Sorry. I need coffee. Can you all tell that I need coffee? Cloud architect. You should. The recruiter are not going to ask you technical questions because the recruiter, depending on what type of recruiter, most of them don't know they don't really dive deep into the technical environment to at least know that you have the foundation or knowledge what is the infrastructure in your setting. Okay, once you go to the phone interview, it's going to be technical. Okay, if you are solution architect, the interviewed questions, it's about 30% technical. I want to say about 30-40% technical. Okay, there should be a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of questions on Glassdoor. I know this because I would look at all the questions and move it into my VIP coaching cohort for the community as a free resources. I'm hinting you, there's solution architect all over Glassdoor. Put Amazon solution architect and then click on interviewed or interview feedback. Okay? Carmen, hello Carmen. Forzana says, if anyone worked in a big project for 4 years and need to make 20 stories, then what is appropriate to make 20 stories? That is an excellent question. If you only have 4 years of experience, rather than trying so hard to have 4 different stories, why don't you create 10 really, really solid ROI? And in those 10 solid ROI, see if you can move them around where they sound like they're different results from your original stories. Okay, just like how if you are a new graduate or you're getting an internship, there's no way that you can have 20 different stories. Also, if you are interviewing for level 4 or level 5, they will dive deep, but they won't be as strategic. You're not expected to give a high level strategic answer as well as going very in depth. They're not expecting that from you. Okay, with 4 years experience, the interviewer will give you hint, and all you have to do is play ping pong with them and simply answer the question. Okay, let me know if what I just said makes sense. Jazz says, I'm near final round for an associate counsel. I have a counsel in the house at a public tech company and hope to get an offer this week. During screen, a recruiter quoted me 40K less than expecting. What do you mean? How do you know that the recruiter quoted you 40,000 less than what is expecting? And you should probably know that. I mean, I'm assuming that you check Glassdoor and all the different resources for salary. Yes, Jess? Kevin, I did a bachelor's of engineering degree but did not complete it. That's okay. Simply just tell them that you're still finishing up your bachelor's degree. Okay? Here's a salary negotiation question. There's a lot of J. It's all J in the background. By the way, if you're still watching, you're liking this, do not leave today's live stream without smashing the subscribe button or giving me a thumbs up inside the video. Help me out because it really does motivate me to come back every single week, guys. The recruiter said they can watch or they can match or exceed, but I'm expecting using equity. Advice on how to negotiate a higher base. I meet all the requirements for qualification and most prefer I'm in San Francisco remote role. Well, it doesn't matter if your role is remote or not. You're living in the #1 prime area. I don't know if you heard, but San Francisco is like the #1 most expensive place to live in the world, in the US, okay? I would negotiate. In order for you to have leverage to negotiate, you have to practice to death. You have to really prep your interview and getting a solid offer, okay? If you have a full loop of all thumbs up inclined, the odds of them exceeding it is very high, okay? I would do that. I would look at what you're currently making right now in comparison to the market rate, assuming that you've done some homework, and ask yourself what's important to you. I talk about this in my salary video in every single one of them. What is important to you? For me, I care about cash because I don't know if I like the company or my work or the culture that I would stick around for 4 years to be fully vested, right? I would want to have a decent amount of sign-on bonuses. and my take home base salary, because I'm a single mom, I have a kid to support. So it's depending on what you're looking for, Jess. Jarek, been watching your video, help me prepare for an Amazon interview, and I got a question. What is your question? I completed 2 interviews for an L6 marketing role. Last interview went over 1 hour with a business case question. That's good. I was told that I might be better in another team. No loop interview yet. Any tips? Well, I have no clue. It just sounded like you answer. Well, I don't want to make you feel. I don't want. Let me rephrase myself. Jerry, I don't want to cause any anxiety. I don't want to say because you didn't answer the question, that's why it went through a full hour or anything like that. It's a good thing is that your answer were able to allow this interviewer to know that there's other roles for you within Amazon. They don't want to let you go. That's actually a good thing, okay? So it's time for you to follow up with your recruiter and get some feedback as a next step and see where else you could be a fit for, all right? Aranjab, I apologize if I cannot pronounce anybody's name correctly. Want to delay start date end of the year for business need. What is your questions? Are you trying to tell me, are you asking me a question that you already have a job offer, or do you not have a job offer? Because if you do not have a job offer, unless you are you're relocating internationally, it's hard for an employer to hold the position for 3 months start date, for example, because right now a lot of the recs are using up very quickly and they have a bunch of people to get them through the process and start at Amazon, okay? And I did mention that this is going to be the busiest time of the year for Amazon. It is now. All right, let me pick on folks that I haven't picked on yet, okay? Sir Waterrich. Hello, Sir Waterrich. Hey Holly, how do I best negotiate the offer? I research on Levels and Glassdoor, and my offer is above average. It's for an L4 SDE position in UK. So, and my offer. So how do you? So your offer is above average, and you want more money. Good for you. Good man. If you were to do that, then you need to ask for, in total compensation, where do you want, because the recruiter's not going to give you everywhere, right? What's more important? Are you looking for 10,000 more or 20,000 more, or what is it, okay? If what you're making is above average, I don't know if they will give you 20,000 more above that, okay? I'm very happy, however, that Amazon is giving you an offer that is above the UK market, because the UK market, or EMEA in general, the European country, it's really low in salary range, which makes no sense to me at all, because especially in UK, it's expensive to live there. It's expensive to do anything there. And if anything, I think the salary should be pretty similar to like the New York and San Francisco. But let me know how that works, okay? One of the people in my loop bypassed asking me question, and I just what do you mean bypass asking me questions and just email them to me to submit my answer in writing? That is odd. That's very odd. This is the first time I heard anything like this. This is the first time I heard anything like this. And I've been in recruiting for 26 years. 7 at Amazon, teaching, interview, training. I watch this is normal. Normally they will not do that. They will not do that. If they do, it could be a number of things, not because you haven't answered it. They're just curious to learn more before making the final decision to gather all of the information, okay? All right, picking on someone new. Denise, hello, Denise. Denise says, love how Holly is always pro-negotiation. I'm telling you guys, the recruiter is not a fan of me because I'm leaking all the top secrets. I'm telling you guys everything, how managers thinks, how Amazon thinks, how Google thinks. You know, at the end of the day, I think that I'm going to wrap this up, okay, very quickly here. Mainly because my almost 5-year-old has martial art today. I have to pick him up a little bit early in school. But to conclude this here, My goal and what I really care about is just to help you get to the finish line, okay? And do understand that everything that I'm sharing with my community is through my personal experience, through you guys in my VIP coaching member, through my private coaching in the last 3 years, through all of my time working for the tech companies that even startup and knowing what works and what doesn't work. So if someone were to come around and say, Holly, your 60-second answer doesn't make sense, I would want them to challenge me, okay? If someone is say your answer should be 3 minutes and 10 minutes or so on and so forth, I would ask them to provide an example and then try the best that they could to cut down at least 50% of that, if not 70% off, and see how that works. Because professional, it is magical, okay? I know there are some brand new spanking VIP member who are in here. Thank you so much for joining my cohort. You will learn the technique very fast. It doesn't take that long because in VIP coaching, the success rate of everyone who's been able to do everything that's being asked, it's 90%. You can get all of that for free by watching the videos and doing the work with a smile on your face.